Hi, I'm Brian, and here's something you don't see every day. It's me holding up an Alt-Americana album. This is Choking on Fuel by Imogen Clark. It's from 2025. There's the front cover and there's the back with the track listing on the back here. And there's the label. It's on the Potts label. And there it is, absolutely beautiful. And so what the hell's going on? Why am I looking into Alt-Americana, for God's sake? Really interesting. I'm not into Alt-Americana. I'm not into country music at all. This is the only country music album I have, and that's because Chris Christopherson is badass. So why am I holding up this one? Well, here's the deal. I know Imogen Clark. She's the daughter of one of my very best friends in the entire world, Clarky. And Imogen's been rocking it from all the way from Australia in the western suburbs of Sydney, all the way out to Nashville, where she's been working, doing so much gigging there, so much songwriting there, that it's pure jealousy on my part that she has her songs out on record and I don't. Well, anyway, so on one hand we have my bias because I know Imogen, I love her to death, and on the other hand we have my anti-bias, if you will, and that's that I don't like Alt-Americana albums. But you might, so I thought that's a good reason to review this album because she's being recognised by a lot of people. Just last week, she received a nomination for the ARIA Awards in Australia, which are like the Grammys, and she's also got 2 nominations for the Golden Guitars, which are the Country Music Awards of Australia, and they're held at Tamworth every year and very prestigious. So there's a backstory to this album, and that is that 8 of the 9 songs are reworkings of songs which were previously released on her 2024 album, The Art of Getting Through. And what's also extremely interesting, if we look at the flyer inside, great picture of Imogen there, but if you look at those, we also find out all the musicians who played on here, and lyrics on the other side, of course, which is fantastic. And they're also highlighted here, these other musicians. And that is a great tribute to Imogen because there's a lot of people who want to work with her, want to write with her, and just want to hang. Anyway, so this album really is about love and all of its highs and lows, its glories and its sadnesses, its breakups and its makeups. And ultimately, there's a sense of optimism that pushes through as well. So what will happen on the other side of this review here? Will it be something that I really like and happy to recommend it to you? Or am I going to face the tough call? Let's find out. The album opens with the song All Hard Feelings, which is an interesting play on words from No Hard Feelings to All Hard Feelings. And that is really on show here in the lyrics and in the music here and the vocal delivery. I really dig that riff which starts us off, and there's some absolute vitriolic anger here. But it's seemingly directed not only at the person who deserves it all, but also there's some self-direction as well. Let's have a listen to it, and I'm going to have to beep out one of the words, but I really like these vocals in this section of the song. Let's check it out. I'm going under, singing I'm over it, fight for the closure, but maybe it don't exist. I love, but I don't let go. Every paper cuts down to the bone. Time doesn't ease my mind, 'cause I'm all hard feelings. Next up, we have The Art of Getting Through, which was the title track of the 2024 album, The Art of Getting Through. Didn't need to say it a second time because I said it was the title track. Anyway, I really like the guitars which underpin Imogen's vocals here. And there's also that harmonica that comes in, which really gives me the sense of Supertramp at the beginning of Prime of the Century on School. You know, there's nothing wrong with spending some time with the tramp. That's what I always say. And that's played by Mickey Raphael, who I've never heard of, but apparently is a wonderfully famous and well-known harp player over in the States. The song is about coping with loss. Let's hear a bit from this song. Is there purpose in the mountain? Is it beauty by design? Come to realize that we need hope to survive. And this is the art of breaking into. This is the art of saying who knew.
the art of killing the blues. This is the art of getting through. Yeah, this is the art of getting through.
So the next track up is called Squinters, and this song is all about lost opportunities and looking back and reminiscing from a point in the middle age or maybe even a bit later on those opportunities and wondering why you didn't take advantage when you had the opportunity of the opportunities, if that makes any sense. Beautiful vocal by Imogen, lovely piece of songwriting here. I really like Michael Carpenter's work on the Hammond organ, and I get a real sense of the band here, not as in the band that Imogen's playing with, but the band, yeah, as opposed to all other bands. Great title for a band. But I don't really know what a squinter is. All I remember about Squinters is in Seinfeld when George was spotting those raccoons because he was squinting only to find out they were letterboxes. But still, really good song, this one. And the next song up is called Sebastian, and we get some country groove and some country funk here, even though it's sort of in that unplugged feel. But Imogen's playing with the band Midnight Chicken here, and it gives us that real sense of unity throughout. I'd love to hear the 2024 album. I haven't heard that, to hear the version on there, to see if there's a little bit more funk brought through, maybe an electric bass. And there's a lot of fiddles on here. Everybody's having a good little fiddle, but it all works a treat. It works well. This is about being told of the other woman, I believe. So it's tying into sort of that trope within the romance genre, if you want to call it that. But like this song a lot. It sure would be good to hear it with a live band. The last song on the first side is called The Last of Me, which is interesting because it is the last of me, but it's the last song on the side, which I thought about the irony there, and the irony being that it's not the last we're going to see of Imogen, because she's going to pop up on side 2 as well. Anyway, it's a play on the idea is that you ain't seen the last of me yet, sucker. Anyway. There's a great forceful piano which starts us off here, but it's interesting, I suppose, that it does make it stand out in terms of the mix and the arrangement, and there is a lot of piano here. Still, it's a catchy riff. The melody is sung beautifully with passion and persuasion, and it's a good way to go out on side 1. Let's flip it over onto side 2.
Hurricane about to land, take the weary world by storm. You were ready for the ride, I wasn't ready for...
Side 2 starts off with If I Want In, which is musings about where her peers perhaps have ended up in life, whether they've gone and got married, whether they're in rehab, that sort of idea. And I love that concept. It's almost like there's only 2 ways you can go. And maybe that's the Australian dream here. You either get married or you go to rehab, one or the other, and it doesn't matter. You'll be right in the end, mate. Anyway, I love this concept. And musically, I do get the feeling that I've heard this sort of sound before, but it's like listening to the blues, I suppose. You know where a 12-bar blues is generally going, and the same with country music. All of my Chris Christopherson. I mean, musically, I know where it's going. So it's up to the lyrics and the ability for us to focus on the lyrics. And the focus of the lyrics here is really good. And also, we have the added bonus of hearing Ella Hooper sing and add her lead vocals and harmony vocals to this song. Really cool. Let's check out a track or check out a section of If I Want In.
I had to learn who I wasn't to find who I am. The streets of winter screaming, get out while you can. Don't wanna be a mother and wife to a man who I've known since I was 10. And he's telling all our friends, you should hear her when she sings her little songs on the weekends. Everyone I know is either married or in rehab. I couldn't say which one is worse. I got too much supply and never enough demand. I killed a living in reverse.
Big One's a pretty cool song as well. I kind of dig this one as well. It's a beautiful ballad, and there's some gorgeous acoustic guitars here. But what I particularly like on this song is the mix. When you got your headphones on and you listen to it in a big space, it's almost like vocal treats are just popping up where you sort of least expect them, out the back, over the front, all over. And the same goes for the music as well. The instruments just popping up where unexpectedly. It's a cool idea. Kind of like that a lot. The next song up is called If Your Heart Never Breaks, and we have the voice of Tommy Emmanuel counting us in, and he plays guitar on this song. Now, I'll point out one thing here. This is probably my favorite song on the album, but it's not because it's Tommy Emmanuel, it's because of the songwriting. And I was thinking to myself, oh, Imogen's playing a country standard. And then I looked in the credits and realized and found out that she had written this song with Jim Lauderdale. And it should become a standard. It's absolutely beautiful. And after all the heartache that we go through on this album, it's an interesting idea that if your heart never breaks, then you'll never know what it is like to love. So let's listen to a section towards the end of the song. It's beautiful.
We all wish that we were stronger, but we all make mistakes. You won't know how love is made if your heart never breaks. Oh, if your heart never breaks.
The final track on the album is the only cover on the album, and it's called If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow. Now, we all know this. It was a global smash, not one of my favorite songs ever, so I know that I'm going to be in Camp Imogen here. And I love the intro piano from Rob Vincent, and I also love the sensitivity, the breathy sensitivity of all the vocals that have been applied here, especially from Imogen. And restraint. We've had restraint pop up on a couple of these last songs, like If Your Heart Never Breaks, a big one, also has some restraint, and there's beautiful restraint here. And I was really thinking as I was listening, this is going to be played way down with none of the bombast of Sheryl Crow's original song. Well, the drums come in halfway through and we do get that explosion into the bombast, but if you love this song, you're going to absolutely love this version. It is the first time that drums have been featured on the album, and it's a good choice with tying in with the other album, with the 2024 album, The Art of Getting Through. So if you've enjoyed this album, go and have a listen to that one. And the lyrics, I think, tie in well, and I think that's a really great reason to choose it with the theme of romance and heartache throughout this album. If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. If it makes you happy, then why the hell are you so sad? And so we see throughout the album things like anger, sadness, rejuvenation, reconsideration, hope, and optimism all the way coming through. So that's 2025's Choking on Fuel by Imogen Clark in all of its greatness. Well, not really all of its greatness. I mean, I only played a few snippets. You're going to have to go out and spend some money, or even stream it and on YouTube, or buy the album or the CD, whatever. Spend some money. It's absolutely worth it. So what's my position now? Considering I'm very biased towards Imogen, but antithetical or anti-biased, I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments, probably somebody with a name like Clarky or Ponsonby or Pompusby. That's an in-joke, and I hate in-jokes, but it had to be made. What's my position? Well, if I'm only going to have one country album in my life, and Chris Christopherson, because he's a badass, I'm going to say that Imogen's a badass when it comes to Alt-Americana music as well, and I'm going to keep that for the times that I need to hear a bit of Alt-Americana. So there we go. Anyway, it's been a pleasure dipping into it. And let me tell you that if music of any style, shape, size, or Squinters gives you pleasure, then who am I to argue with your opinion? There's a few of my other album reviews. It'd be great if you were able to dip your toes into that pond. I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, I hope you're doing really well, staying cool, and bye now.